Hello, I'm Roy Whiffin, and this is Roy's Rant again. Got myself all sorted out. But anyway, um, this week I asked a question, and it created quite a stir. The funny thing is that in this country, at the moment, and I hope for many, many years to come, you're allowed to ask questions, and you're allowed to try and find out whether things are right or wrong. And what happened was that I went to get some food over at Willie's on Highway 6 and University, and in the parking lot were four Fort Bend ISD police vehicles. Now, on that particular day, Friday, there was no school. But Willie's is not next to any school or anywhere near any school. Several miles from even the elementary schools. And, I don't know how often they have police at elementary schools, but I don't see many of them. They're normally at middle schools and high schools. But anyway, there were four vehicles there. Now, these are public servants using taxpayers' money. And so I asked what was going on. And I got people telling me that they're entitled to lunch and all the rest of it. Yes, they are entitled to lunch. And, that I shouldn't be asking these questions. Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to get used to it, because if I see something that doesn't make any sense to me, I'm not necessarily wanting to fight or get into a stupid argument that has no logic to it. I will have a decent conversation with you. You can educate me, and I can, in some instances, hopefully enlighten you. But don't tell me to mind my own business, because when it comes down to taxpayers' money, some of that is my business. Anyway, I'll leave that at that. Now, let's get back to the bond and the election. This election coming up, it's going to be something that you're going to have to pay attention to. It's a very long form. It's state, county and city. And my suggestion would be that when you get into your booth, you read it, each part, 2 or 3 times before you put your little X's there. So part 1 for state, figure it out, what you want, what you don't want, boom. County, what you want, what you don't want, boom. When it comes down to the city, I'm hoping, because of the way that they've hoodwinked you, that you're going to put no, 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 no in every box. It's not that everything is wrong, it's just that they've put it in there the wrong way. And they're trying to spend your money that shouldn't be spent that way. About 47% of it is for improvements to roads and drainage needed. There are other things there that I don't agree with, and you hopefully don't agree with either. And if you don't agree with it, then we send it back to them and say, come back to us with a different offer. It's standard procedure. The other thing is, they say this bond, well, it's only $10 a month. Yeah, $10 a month. For 20 years. It was like the $1 billion bond that the Fort Bend ISD got. for 30 years. And they're coming back in 2 years for another 30 years worth. So beware of that. And you've got the county coming in there for 30 years. So it's not just $10 a month. Each one of these is a mortgage that you're going to pay for years and years and years. And what I'm saying to you is that some of this is just not right. Some of it can be scaled down. It doesn't have to be the best of the best every time. Some of it can just be ordinary. I have in the past, as you know, talked about the doggy hotel. Now, you know, whether you love animals or whether you don't love animals, this has nothing to do with the animals. We all need to look after the animals. I understand that. It's one of those things that as humans, we love these animals, cats, dogs, horses, what have you. We've just got one of those things inside us that makes us want to cuddle up to them or have them cuddle up to us, etc. And they're very good company if you're on your own as well. But put that aside. That has nothing to do with this animal shelter that they're wanting. This animal shelter is way above and beyond anything that we need. As I've said to you previously, in 2017, all they wanted was to extend the existing facility. In 2018, they saw Pearland and Houston building these huge projects, and they said, oh, we got to have one of those. No, you haven't. And you don't need it where it's going to be either. That's a prominent piece of land that can be leased or sold and make a profit that can help us out with our bond. It's one of those deals that we need to look at in another way. The people that look after these animals in Sugarland, their record is not very good. In the last 4 years, if you add up the numbers, and they're state numbers, they're freely available, they killed 47% of their intake over the last 4 years. And as I've said to you, the average is 5%. Now there's something wrong there. And that needs to be addressed long before we ever think about what we're going to do as far as a doggy hotel or even a extension to the existing animal shelter. We need to say to the city, we understand what you've said to us. We understand what it's going to cost. We understand that we're going to be in debt for years and years and years and years because you want this. And it's not something that we've said we want. In the roads, yes, but the other things, no. It's what you want. And that's where the difference is. So let's get it sorted out. I've put different stuff up on Facebook that you can read. The state stuff is up there now. It's long, it's boring, but it's very, very important. So with that, I'll say goodbye, and with God's blessing, talk to you next week.